Welcome back to Hilaal Live. I'm Lukman Shadrach from the Cape Town studios. Now in studio, we are going to be chatting to a company that's doing wonderful work in and around our beautiful country, our beautiful city as well. Company is called Ikasi Creative Media, and in studio is the Managing Director, Lamise Inglis. Assalamu alaikum, Lamise. Welcome.
Salam. Shukran for having me.
My absolute pleasure. So tell us more, Ikasi, I love the name first of all.
Oh.
I think it says a lot. Creative Media, what's your core business, Lamise?
So Ikasi Creative is a non-profit company, and our core business really is bringing digital media training to rural youth and small town youth.
Okay.
Unemployed youth that don't have access to that sort of study or creative fields. So that's really our core business.
Nice. I like that as well because, invariably, people that are living in rural areas don't have access to this type of professional expertise, experience that can, everybody's on social media now as well. So I'm sure that they must really appreciate that as well. What's your core vision when it comes to Ikasi?
Well, I think Ikasi's core vision was really simple. We actually, the three directors, we're all from the media industry.
Oh, nice.
So I've got a history in television. I've worked for ETV and SABC. And my partner, Lika Burning, she's an actress. My other partner, Kanya Sosibo, she's in radio. So I think our vision was always just to assist these areas where, big film sets go through and they sort of utilize these beautiful spaces, but there's no access for the youth to actually get work employment or even just see, the sets. So we really wanted to create access for these youth, so that the next production that comes through the area, they're able to get a job on.
And I know you've got a specific mission and why, you've sort of started this company. How old is the company, by the way?
We just under 6 years old.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
we're still
Infant
quite
stage,
young.
But
Yeah.
But getting there, you're starting to run now.
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant.
And I think for any non-profit company, if you survived COVID, then that's a big win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's your mission that you would like to share with the world?
Well, the mission specifically around recognition of prior learning. I think that was our topic that we're going to discuss today.
Okay.
So recognition of prior learning is a process. It's specifically for people in industry that have years of experience but maybe don't have a qualification. And because we an accredited training provider, we are able to take these professionals through this process in order to gain a qualification without necessarily putting in the study hours.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, so if you think about maybe a freelance cameraman who's constantly on set and doesn't have the time to go and study, but he maybe worked his way up from a runner and now he looks back and he's got 25 years of experience, but no paperwork.
Absolutely.
So those are the type of people that are our ideal candidates. And we are trying to rectify the imbalance in industry at the moment because what we find sort of going through the conversations is this thread of a glass ceiling where internationals are now coming into our towns and they're employing crew. But some of the crew members can't get senior positions because of the fact that they don't have a formal qualification, even though they have years of experience. And I think for recognition of prior learning, that is what we as Ikasi want to sort of give back to our industry. It's not specifically used for our industry, but we want to apply it to our industry.
Okay, I think it's a very novel idea because it makes sense. And you're right. I mean, if you've been in the media long enough, you've met so many people that have been in the industry for years. And it's only because of their networking skills that they've managed to pick up work, especially during COVID as well, when there was little or no work to that point. But you're here today to share some very exciting news with us. Tell us more about that.
So I'm not too sure if you know about Fame Week Africa that's happening first week of September.
Not too familiar.
Okay, so between the 4th between the 4th and the 6th of September, there's a very big expo called Fame Week Africa. It's happening at the CTICC. And we have been announced as CSI partner for the 2nd year in the row.
Oh, nice.
So Fame Week Africa is basically a content market. All the big distributors like Netflix and DSTV, everyone's going to be there. And they basically meet with producers of content. And then they buy and sell content in this market. So for us to have been chosen for the 2nd year is quite a feather in our cap, I think, especially considering the fact that for the past 5 years, we've been very focused in rural areas. And finally, it seems like our industry is finally, recognizing the work that we do.
Nice.
So through Fame Week Africa, we'll obviously have an expo stand where we'll be able to engage with industry on the whole, speak about things like recognition of prior learning, and also just appeal to production companies to assist the work that we're doing in rural areas.
I think that's very commendable of your company to take this initiative on, because not many people are going to speak for those that can't, or don't have a voice, or don't have the opportunity, don't have the networking skills. 2nd year running, what was the attendance like last year?
Wow. It was quite overwhelming, to be totally honest. I don't think we were prepared enough for it, but yeah, very well attended, especially day one.
And this is from all parts of the globe?
Yes. Yeah, it was actually, I think there was even, the Emmys or the Oscars had a stand there, so it was like really impressive.
And what was the response to our filmmakers, our storytellers?
We had, I think there was about 90% local, which was great.
Sure.
And they have this brilliant platform called Connect Me, where you as an individual filmmaker has the ability to request a meeting, with a big content house.
Nice.
So it's that immediate access to being heard.
Brilliant.
Which I think is amazing for our stories. Yeah.
That's exactly what we need. Right, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, just after Maghrib Salah, we'll chat a bit more to Lamise Inglis, who's part of Ikasi Creative Media, and find out about this great initiative. RPL as well, very important in this day and age as well. Don't go anywhere. You are still watching Hilaal Live right here on Channel 347. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Hilaal Live, and thanks for watching us on Channel 347. We are talking to Ikasi Creative Media about a wonderful initiative that they have got going, and I'm sure our viewers are very interested to know more as well. In studio is Managing Director Lamise Inglis. Lamise, thanks once again for joining us.
Yes, and shukran for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Afwan. Before the break, we spoke about the RPL. And how important and how vital it is for your company to get more involved and to get more people RPL'd. But for those that maybe missed that crucial information, would you like to reiterate? I can't get the word out, sorry. That word. Basically, how people can get involved, what the process is. Are there costs involved as well?
Yeah, so the RPL is definitely a process. Traditionally, you would go to a varsity and study, or technicon and study like for a year, 2 years, get a qualification or a degree. This is looking at your previous experience and maybe formal and informal study that you've done. So it's a matter of gathering evidence. So let's say we take one qualification, which is the film and television qualification. You would then need to gather evidence instead of writing the exams for each of the modules.
Right, got you.
To prove that you are competent in those elements. And if you are found competent by a registered assessor, it will be moderated, and then you'll be granted the qualification.
The process, is an exam you write? Is it verbal, vocal? How do you do it?
So the process is you will have a meeting with the assessor, and they will look at your CV, your resume, and your experience. see if there's any gaps or maybe an exam that you need to take or a course that you need to do just to bridge a gap.
Okay.
But they will then discuss your experience
I see.
and what exactly you need to provide in order to prove competency in that area. Okay. So it could maybe be a reference letter from a company that you worked at previously. It could be a certificate for a course that you did, whether it's accredited or non-accredited. And then once you've gathered sufficient evidence, it will go through the normal assessment process, the same like
your
if you had
portfolio
to,
of evidence
yeah,
that you would
exactly,
have to submit. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And if you found competent, then you'll obviously get the qualification or part qualification.
I see.
You don't have to do a full qualification. Maybe you're a cameraman and you just want to be, you just want a part qualification just in camera operation.
Right.
Then that can definitely be done.
Okay. Now, the training part of this project, would you like to take us through that?
Okay, so I think let me just answer the second part of your question, which is the costing.
Yes, please.
Okay, so around the costing for recognition of prior learning, there's a couple of ways we can assist. So the one way is if someone is employed, like full-time employed by a company,
Right.
we can always have the company sponsor the RPL process, and thereby the company would be able to claim that back from their skills development spend. And that obviously goes towards your BE scorecard. We can also issue an 18A certificate for that spend because we are a registered PBO.
Okay.
Or if you are a freelancer and maybe you don't have anyone to sponsor you, the freelance life is tough.
Yes, tell me about it.
We can apply for funding on your behalf to the CETA.
Okay.
And if we're successful with that, obviously, then we can take you through the RPL process.
Okay, so there are costs involved, and to find out more, they can approach you guys.
It's very much an individual basis because it depends whether you're going to do a full qualification or part qualification and how much is involved with your evidence gathering.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now, the training aspect, is it
Yes.
very involved? Is it over duration? How does it work?
So RPL, there is no training that takes place in RPL. But for Ikasi, our training that we do is definitely out in rural communities. We start with a 5-day, what we call a 5-day awareness workshop. Okay. That's just basic understanding on careers in the film, television, and digital media space. We started out film and television, but we had to add digital media because obviously in small towns, there's digital media.
Right,
there might not
course.
be a lot of access to film and television.
Yeah.
Then we also have a 3-month boot camp, which is very much production focused. Brainstorming stories, they learn how to script, they learn how to use cameras, edit, lighting, sound. They go through the whole gambit of technical skills.
Right.
After that, we've also got our incubator, which is a 12-month learnership. It ends in a full qualification in film and television.
Okay.
And there they don't only learn digital media skills and television skills and film, they also get entrepreneurship training, life skills, and we're basically trying to polish them for the working world. We are very focused on entrepreneurship.
Brilliant.
Purely because small areas, again, they need to sort of hustle and make their own opportunities happen.
Of course. Now, the various projects that you undertake, I would imagine there are costs involved. How do you source your funding to support some of these projects?
Funding is a very difficult aspect, and it's actually not one of my most favorite aspects of running a non-profit organization. Just to give you an idea, when I started in the non-profit space, I was very surprised that non-profits, there are no funders or donors that fund operational costs, which is absolutely mind-boggling because how are you supposed to survive?
Exactly.
Everyone funds projects.
Correct.
And projects last a week, maybe 3 months, maybe a year.
Exactly.
And you're only able to gather like 20% of that towards your operational costs. And yet your operational costs are salaries.
Exactly.
It's
Keeping
the
the
roof.
lights on.
Yeah, it's all of that. And I mean, electricity and all of that is expensive. So that was quite an eye-opener for me. we do the usual answering calls, funding proposals. That's sort of our weekly grind, you know, to find proposals and fine tune it and then put it out. I have to say the MICT CETA has been quite instrumental in our growth, purely because they've supported us with funding every so often for our projects out in the rural communities. Okay. We've actually just been included in their corporate video as one of their flagship projects.
Very nice.
So that was very exciting.
Brilliant.
But furthermore, we really, we need to ask for assistance with regards to operational costs, and people can definitely get involved there.
Okay, and I'm sure people can get hold of you on all the very good social media platforms, of which we're going to give out in a short while as well. The launch itself of the RPL project and the partnership between Fame Week and yourselves, when is that all taking place?
Okay, so Fame Week Africa runs, the actual expo runs between the 4th and the 6th of September. Okay. So that's a Monday to a Wednesday. Okay. And I just have to clarify, Fame Week is the big expo. Okay. We are CSI partner to MIP Africa, which is the media, film, television aspect of Fame Week. And then you get the music aspect of Fame Week. So that's two completely different things. But yeah, we'll be there from the 4th to the 6th of September, and we'll have a stand at Fame Week, and people are welcome to come and see us at the stand. We are also launching our new fundraising project, which is the I Am Ikasi campaign. Okay. We're actually calling on individuals to sponsor as little as 100 Rand a month. Okay. Via debit order, and that will then go towards our projects.
Brilliant. Exciting times ahead, because there's so much happening for your company, and also for those individuals that would like to formalize some of their media training, and future prospect storytellers, writers, you know, so many aspects that our younger generation can actually go into, but also people that would like to take on a side hustle, you know, second, third type of job. This could be there for them as well.
Absolutely. I mean, with using your mobile device to film content, platforms like TikTok have just blown it up. For sure. So even we get people coming through our courses who just want to, you know, formalize how they film or polish up their skills. Yeah. So mobile filmmaking is something that we drive very hard.
Fantastic. Yeah. How do our viewers get hold of Ikasi Creative Media?
Well, they can get hold of us on our website, which is ikasimedia.com. Okay. And you can just search for Ikasi Media on Google, and all our social handles will pop up.
Fantastic. Lamise, thanks so much for coming into studio. All the very best with all your future projects, because I can foresee big things to come. And, you know, definitely you're taking this national as well?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Have a good one. All the very best, and have a lovely evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Shukran. Shukran for having me. Wa alaikum salam.
And that's how we end Hilaal Live. We're back tomorrow between 5 o'clock and 6:30 as well. We take a break for Maghrib Salah, inshallah. So do join us during that time. Faraz Patel and the team then takes over until about 7:30. From the Cape Town team, Sohail Barnes and myself, Luqman Shadrack, have a wonderful evening. Assalamu alaikum.